my sister's tank that she has in her room. It's a 60-gallon aquarium. Her sand is play sand, I believe. And yeah, this is the setup she's got right now. And the stand, she spilled water on it on her first ever water change. She overflowed the tank, and now the tank, you can see the wood is swollen there, and this is not even touching the tank. Like, there's no support on it, and it's been like this for a while. I'm surprised the tank didn't break yet, and so we have to build her a stand. I'm gonna build her a stand, and she's also gonna be getting her first ever canister filter. Set that up because we got her a cheap $30 canister filter. She's making the switch to canisters now. We're building the stand out of 2x4s, so right now I'm heading out to Lowe's with the truck to get some wood because I only got a few pieces from the last stand I built.
We just finished buying wood from Lowe's, and now we're heading home. A bunch of trucks.
All the wood I got from Lowe's, and I'm gonna pretty much turn all this into a stand. I went with 2x3s. 2x3s are for the stand, and I have 2x4s as well already. And that should be more than strong enough for the 55 to 60 gallon tank. The new stand is in, and we didn't put sand in it yet. We took out all the play sand, and we're about to put some new pool filter sand in instead. But on it we got a Penguin 350B right there, and then we've got a Marineland Emperor 400 on this side, and got a sterilizer right there, sunsun, and then we've got a new sunsun intake there. That's for this canister filter down here that we just installed. So I upgraded it to a canister filter, and she should be able to take care of this pretty easily. I didn't put cupboard doors on the tank stand. Here we got a pair of pearls, one male, one female, and there's one gold gourami, one gold barb, I believe that was, and there's 3 tiger barbs in this back corner, and 1 rainbow shark in here. Not sure where the rainbow shark is.
It's in that middle ornament.
Yeah, it's probably in here somewhere in this big ornament. And this is her 60-gallon setup now. She finally has a canister, and we're probably gonna, I wanted her to get the 302B because it has the built-in pump in it, but she didn't want to deal with priming it, so instead we went with this one. The canister is a cheap 504B that I picked up for 32 bucks, and the UV, this is a UV model, but the UV doesn't work on it. It was missing the seal for it, and I wasn't going to use it anyways, so I just took the bulb out and the tube out. I'm just using the plastic tube on it, and that's it, to direct the water downwards. And it flows pretty good. It has 4 trays in it. It's a pretty nice filter for 32 bucks. But me personally, I would have went with the 302 because I don't want the pump in the tank. This is easier for her, I guess. Set it up with no water at all in it, and it primed right away. So I put the canister in there completely empty without any water in it, and it started running perfectly. And you can see the flow on the spray bar right there. It claims to flow 264 or 65 gallons per hour. So right now she's going to begin adding the sand.
And ornaments, plants.
Yeah, and she's got some fake plants she wants to put in there too, so that's what we're doing next. The new sand is a lot brighter and wider. It's the same sand I have in my 220. It also doesn't make a muddy sandstorm like the other play sand that we had in here before. We're done right now. We added the curtains. We went with this color. It's like a darkish pink, and you just slide it open. And that's an easy setup. No cover doors required. Don't need to build any. And it's been like a week now. Sunsun is flowing good. Marineland, I did replace the impeller on it, so it's silent now on the Emperor 400. And this one here still hums a little. The impeller's bad on it, but I'm probably not going to replace it because the impeller actually costs just as much as the entire 350B for some reason. I set up the tank, so the setup with the sand and the rocks and everything, I did that before was how she set it up, but when I redid it with the new sand and the rocks and everything, this is the way I did it. I think it looks a lot better, but this is personal preference really. The fish seem to like it a lot more. They're more out in the open swimming around. It's not as cluttered and looks better. And with the new sand, we don't have to deal with muddy water anymore because the play sand just causes the water to become very murky. The tank seems a lot clearer with this coarse pool filter sand. We got one fat gold barb right there. But yeah, everything in this tank runs good. And the sunsun, it actually did have a leak. So the sunsun had a leak on this valve. When you unscrew this hair, there's a O-ring that sits on this, and that was leaking. I do have a sunsun 304B that I got used, and I may try it out eventually. Swap out the Odyssey I have. Rosie, she's in this 40 breeder quarantine by herself right now, and this tank is running good. Still running on the Cascade. The only thing with Cascades is they have a lot of bypass. And I did install a LED light on all my tanks. One of these cheap LED lights. They're about, you get a 10 pack of those lights for about 25-28 bucks. So I threw one of those LED lights on each of my tanks in the stand, so it makes my job easier. I don't have to use a flashlight anymore. Sunsun pre-filters over here, they came in, so I'm going to be using those. 603 pre-filter installed now, and this is how I have it set up. The water comes in, goes to the bottom on the inlet in the back there, and then comes out the top, goes into the canister. This is filled with all biological media only, and then it goes up and back into the tank. I also just added this light, and this is just held on with a wire twisty tie, so no drilling or anything required, and it's an easy install. And my original hose, I didn't want to get another piece of long hose. I didn't have any, so I just raised the canister up a little bit with some 2x4. This is set up now on the 60 gallon. The flow is just as good with the pre-filter, so the pre-filter didn't make the flow any worse. So far no leaks on these. If your canister uses larger than 5/8 or 16mm tubing, then not to run a pre-filter, because it might restrict the canister or restrict the motor too much. But this pump here is pretty small, so it's not restricting it too bad, or it's not restricting it at all. And I cut the wire off of this because I'm not using the UV sterilizer in it, and this pump, I got it, this sunsun was used and the UV sterilizer was no good anyways. There was no seal on it for the glass seal or the bulb or anything, so I just took the bulb out and took the glass piece out and left it, and cut the wire in case anyone would try to plug it in by mistake. Tank is running good. That'll help her out a little bit, so she won't have to clean the canister. She just has to clean this little, or she does have to clean the canister still, but not as often. she'll just have to clean this little pre-filter mostly. And you shouldn't have to clean that often with this tank because these fish are pretty small. These fish don't produce that much waste. The two hang-ons, the 350B and the Emperor 400, they keep the water pretty clean already. So this is just mostly for the biological filtration.